morning, everybody. This is an episode brought to you by the Pinstripe Chronicles. I'm looking forward to discussing the recent update regarding Max Fried being on the IL and Rodon's return to the rotation. How do y'all think it went? So the Yankees pulled out a 3-1 game. Once again, the offense was non-existent. Once again, Jazz was a disgrace. But let's give credit where it's due. The pitching was excellent, and Lombard continues to be amazing. Just a remarkable shortstop. One of the best gloves I've ever seen play shortstop for the Yankees in a long time. Have you guys seen a better glove from a shortstop since Jeter? Like seriously, I don't think I have. I like Didi a lot, but Lombard clears him. There's not been a shortstop close to be honest. Lombard made a remarkable play on his backhand side, and one motion. It actually kind of reminded me of Jeter, I have to say, the way he threw that to first, just like an absolute cannon. So I was really impressed by him, and I thought that the pitching just held it down. Rodon gave you 4, but the rest of the bullpen was excellent. So, they deserve a ton of credit because that Orioles offense has been red hot. So, it has, because they beat up on the Blue Jays, some big styly, and the Yankees shut them down. So, that was good. So, there's some positives. But once again, more Jazz antics. I mean, is anyone else sick of this guy? I can't be the only one sick of this guy. Like, seriously. Like, that error where he just kind of let a ball go under him, and he didn't even go and try and retrieve it. It's like, how is he still here? Instead of me just beating up on Jazz, how about just someone answer me the question, why does Caballero not play? Like, he helps the team win. Like, he does the intangibles. He's able to get on base. He can make contacts. He's got speed, and he has a nice glove. Like, what's the downside? Jazz is giving you nothing. He's giving you a sub 190 batting average since over the last couple of months. Yeah, Evan, right. Jazz complaining to the umpire as if it was the umpire's fault that Jazz stinks. That was so ridiculous. Jazz literally let the ball go under his legs, and instead of trying to retrieve it, he just looked up and was just like, oh, I'm so sick of this kid. Oh my God, I'm sick of him. Can we please get rid of him? Like, honestly, like, at this point, please bench his ass. He's awful. What an embarrassment he is. I just hate his attitude. Like, errors are fine. Like, errors happen, but his attitude is so unbecoming, and like for me, he just embarrasses the pinstripes more often than not. So everybody, please hit the like button, share it up, sub up, do all the good stuff. Everyone that's in the chat, hit that like button for us. I have noticed that our watch time is in the green. Our watch time is good, but the likes aren't. So we definitely need more likes, guys. So y'all can hit that like button and do all the good stuff for your boys here. Uncle Tats is here. Sunil was asking where is Uncle T. Uncle T is here. Uncle T, what did you think of last night's game?
I think in general it's a good win, because we did get some offensive production from an individual with Trent Grisham that we kind of been killing a little bit, even though he's been on the uptick. I don't want to say he's hot because it's Trent Grisham. It's
Tats, could I stop you there, bro?
for a while.
There's something wrong with your microphone, man. You're out of sync and it's all kind of choppy. Is anyone else getting that problem at your end? Anyone else getting that problem?
Yeah, if there's a audio and visual issue, please let us know so we could I could make any adjustments that I need to.
Yeah. So, could you say that again, Uncle T?
No, I think it was a solid win. Yeah, choppy. All right, thanks, Egyptian. I'm gonna try to get through this, and then I'll switch over to my phone while Donald responds. No, I think it's one of those situations where the the that was kind of a moral victory about anything for the Yankees because you get the bad news. That's not
Nah, it's done, bro.
right.
Sorry about that, guys. We really do apologize. I don't know what's going on Uncle Tats's end, but let's get Uncle Tats is in a popcorn machine. I know, Issy, right? What kind of this is unacceptable. This is still absolutely unacceptable. We got to do better here. So, anyone else in the chat, hit me up. Let's look at some of these comments. And right here we go. We got the early bird is John the Beagle Dad. Salute to you. Got Jonathan in the chat. Salute to you. What's good, man? What's good? Um, Sunil is mentioning that Tampa keep losing. Kevin Cash is leveraging his inner Aaron Boone. That's what we do, baby. John the Beagle Dad says hello. What's going on, John? To be honest, bro, for me this division's over, and I think Tampa are just gonna wipe the floor of the Yankees when we play them personally. CT, I am sadly sick of Jazz, as I said. Was excited when we first got him and the energy he brought, but it has been downhill this season. Yeah, it's been spectacular, dude. He's like, well, prior to this last game, he was batting 146 in August, and I believe he was batting like 170 in June. So I mean, he's just been an embarrassment. He doesn't get on base, and his attitude is awful. And I don't want to be old man in the lawn, but for me though, like if you bring a bad attitude, the errors, the non-existent at bats, complete lack of production, plus you dress like you're like going to the shopping mall. he's he's got like his hat like up like that, and he's just like wearing other people's pants and shit like that. Like he doesn't look like he's like. I don't want to be the old man on the lawn, but I am going to be the old man on the lawn with this. Like, for 3 hours a day, can you take your job seriously? It's 3 hours a day. It can't be that difficult. For 3 hours a day, can you at least look like you want to play baseball for the Yankees? And for me, when they started allowing him to dress as he wants and act as he wants, that's when the Yankees started forgetting about who they are. Like, I think at that point, that's when the Yankees like stopped remembering exactly who they are. They got rid of everything that made them who they are. They're a buttoned up organization. Fine. If you don't like it, there's a ton of other teams you can go to that aren't. But then the Yankees had to try and modernize. And for me, since they've modernized in favor of like guys like Devin Williams and all this shit, I think I think the Yankees have actually forgotten who they are. Now I don't have a big deal. Obviously, I've got a beard. Most everyone has a beard. I don't have an issue with that. I think beards are fine. Keep it trimmed. That's fine. But um, what I think my major takeaway here is when Jazz's uniform is just it's just scruffy. He looks ridiculous. And I agree. TC steals here. Boone allows it, so he's the problem. I do agree. Jazz should have been benched a long ago. Stevie B says, "Hey man, how's it going, bro?" Um, I just don't like Jazz's attitude. Um, yes, you know what? Seal's right. He does kind of dress like a rapper. Like he does. He dresses like a rapper, and I don't want to be the old man on the lawn, but is that really professional? You're playing baseball for 3 hours a day. For every time before and after, you can wear what the hell you want. You can, you can wear a clown costume for all I care. I really don't care. But for those 3 hours, you should try and look smart. Is that such an awful thing to say? You know what I'm saying? Try and look smart. But he just doesn't give a shit for me, and I think his attitude is disgraceful. Um, as I say, the best example right there was when he made that error. Instead of quickly retrieving the ball. Maybe do something like that, saying that's on me. No, no. Blames the umpire. Doesn't even retrieve the ball, and he's just like flapping his hands around. He's just such an asshole, and that's he's part and parcel of why this team is incredibly difficult to root for this year. Um, Far too many of him going around in this team. They're just that is very difficult to root for. If Jazz performed well and looked like he gave a crap, we wouldn't even be commenting on his get up. That's true, 100%. But my takeaway here is when you add it all together, with the lack of performance, with the awful attitude, then you add it to his get up. Now we have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Now it's kind of like now it's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like as I say, if you if he was actually producing, then as I say, you could do what you want, man. You could wear the hat backwards. I don't care, but when you put it all together, it just looks like a nasty package. And the Yankees have done this to themselves though because they've created this monster. Um, the thing is, if you leave the door ajar for this kind of behavior, they're just gonna kick that door down, and that's what's happened with Jazz here. You've continued to allow him to disgrace the organization, suck lollipops, build sandcastles. You've continued to allow that. You've continued to allow him getting thrown out in the base paths. You've continued to allow him make a fool of himself on and off the field. Um, you've continued to allow him play like he doesn't care. You've continued to just let that go, let that go, let that go, and now it's just become such a problem where he looks awful, he plays awful, and his get up just makes him look even more unprofessional. That's my takeaway here. So the sooner we get rid of Jazz is the better. And my suggestion, and I'm sticking by it, is I think Caballero needs to be playing second base. I don't understand why he's been forgotten about. Like at least he can add something. At least he adds a bit of intangibles. Like he cares. Like that's one dude that actually cares, and a whole team that, like, frankly, half of them don't. He's one dude that genuinely cares, and I would take that, even though he doesn't have the skill set of Jazz, he doesn't have the power of Jazz, but he's got a better glove, he's got a better presence, and he's got the intangibles, and he'll do whatever it takes to help you win on a daily basis, which he tends to do. But we can't have that because um, we're catering to frankly a complete idiot in Jazz Chisholm, who should be wearing a crash helmet. To be honest, Jazz is the Yankee alpha. He's pressed the line. They didn't even check him. Even judges said it. Wow. Donald, have you noticed where the offense starts with our young guys in Jones and Lombard? Of course, I've noticed it. Lombard is the guy. Lombard is the guy. I'm actually amazed at how, like, quickly he's taken to the majors. Like he looks like he's been here for years. Like he's so calm. He's so comfortable. He's so confident. And as I say, dude, his range is amazing. His glove is amazing. Like he's special. He's really special. He is really special, and we're very lucky to have him. Like we're lucky that we can now safely say, whether there's baseball next year or not, we can safely say we have our shortstop. That's it. The search is over. The watch has ended. We have our shortstop. Thank the gods, as they say. In Game of Thrones. Thank the gods. So we actually have our shortstop. Thank God for that. And that's a good way to start. So if anything's come out of this season, we have our shortstop. And that's pretty good. There's a whole lot of problems around him, but when he continues to do what he does on a like offensively and defensively, then the team's in an all right position to win some games. Um, that will, I'll give the Yankees credit for this one because I was worried that they were rushing him through, but he's taken to it. He's really taken to it. And by the way, not to go back down this rabbit hole again, but Volpe never looked as good as Lombard looks now. You know, so all that excuses like, oh, he needs to get his sea legs under him was just nonsense. He just wasn't ready. This wasn't good. He just wasn't a very good shortstop. He wasn't a very good player. Lombard, he looks like he's been here forever and just making tons of great plays and beautiful backhand plays, beautiful range. He looks like a shortstop. You know, Jazz looked like a minor leaguer. Volpe looks like a minor leaguer. Lombard, he looks like a freaking shortstop. Cannon of an arm, so effortless range, effortless glove. Like there's so much to like about him. Yes, it is, John. It is. I agree with this. John Lombard fits so naturally. It is freaky. Oh God, no. Could you? I don't want to. Yeah, you can't. That's a non-starter for me. But you know, I also have to give credit to Spencer Jones. I think he's acclimatized well in his second spell up this year. Um, is that true, Sunil? Has he got an 8 defensive run saved already? Holy crap! That's amazing, like beyond belief. Um, I mean, as I say, like just in the eye test, I think if you had Volpe still here, I think the Yankees lose about half a dozen more games than they have since Lombard's come up. I think it's just there's been so many times where Lombard has saved runs by his effortless range in the gaps, and his monster throws to first base. Like if that's Volpe, those are going past him and the runs are being scored. So it is. It's night and day healing men's hearts. It's literally night and day. The eye test alone tells you. I don't need stats to tell me. You know what I'm saying? For some reason the analytics had Volpe having elite range. Nonsense. Absolute lies because he didn't have range. He couldn't get anywhere. And even if he did get to the ball, he couldn't throw. So it was pointless. But Lombard has everything. He's got the range and the crazy arm. And he does it all in one motion, which is quite difficult to do. Which is why I give it to like Jeter comparisons because he was able to make a bunch of plays in one motion as well. So, uh, as I say, if there's anything to be excited about moving forward, it's Lombard. Not much else to be excited about, I'll be honest with you, but Lombard is someone to be excited about. Schlittler, he's someone to be excited about. And then, of course, Ben Rice, and I think he's had a really good season. I'm not too worried about his slump second half of the year. It's going to happen. He has no protection in the lineup, so I'm not gonna make a big deal out of it. So yeah, I guess that trio there's something to move forward with. Um, Stevie B. Donald, there's a video saying don't be surprised if the Dodgers have a new owner. In what way? Like, why would we get a new owner? Is it to? Is it? I need more information on that. That's interesting. Um, Issy says, yeah, Posada is no sucker. These dudes on this roster are sweet. It was so Healing Man's Hearts and Issy are discussing Posada being a manager. The only way, the only way that would happen is if Brian Cashman is removed from duty, and you know my thoughts on that. That couldn't happen soon enough. That could not happen soon enough. But I would love Posada to be a manager. He'd get these kids in line. He would get these kids in line. But as I say, it's not about like you know you need to have a happy medium, and I think Aaron Boone's one extreme. You know what I'm saying? um, where he's too lax, and it's he's too lax to the point where it's actually an embarrassment. He allows so much to happen under his nose. It's just absolutely insane what he allows on a daily basis. There's no, there's nothing remotely um, anything that signals that he's a leader. He's just not a leader. He's just it's disgraceful, actually, to be honest. So like he's got to go. You don't need to have someone that's like a drill sergeant, but I would like someone that holds some standards and gets the best out of guys. I don't think. In fact, I know that Aaron Boone doesn't get the best out of guys. I would love to get someone like a Posada, where he knows the game inside out, and he's tough as hell, and he holds standards, and he knows what it takes to be a Yankee, and he knows what it takes to win. These are all aspects that Aaron Boone doesn't have. You know, he doesn't have what it takes to. He never had what it takes to be a Yankee. Um, he one swing, one home run, and somehow has managed to keep him here for 10 years, just because he answers to Brian Cashman and he's his little puppet. So, I mean, that's not really a real reason to be a Yankee manager. You know what I'm saying? He's never won here. He's never won a championship. Never been close to winning a championship. To be fair, um, you know, he's made it once as a manager and embarrassed himself, and made it once as a player and embarrassed himself. So he's not a Yankee. Um, and he's an awful leader, an embarrassing leader. And if you look at the statistics, he's awful against the AL East, and he is awful against the National League, and he is um, awful in October. Like those are the stats. He can't seem to do it. He's just not very good. He got to go. He got to go. But I'm not expecting him to go because, as I say, he's a puppet. Um, but I would love that to happen, and then Posada to take his place. Oh, that would be a dream come true. It would be a dream come true because we need some leadership. And you know, 10 years is a long time. Whether you're pro Boone or anti Boone, 10 years is a long freaking time. Let's get a change of voice. You know what I'm saying? This front office, 30 years is a long time. Can we not just get a change, please? Like any kind of change. You know, something that I can get behind. I just can't get behind just running it back, running it back, running it back and gaslighting and running it back and gaslighting. There's nothing exciting about that. Let's change it up. You know? I've never seen a team so afraid to make any change. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is this team so terrified and so combative at the prospect of a bit of a change? Like, what are you really changing? Like, say, get rid of Aaron Boone, right? Let's get rid of the hyperbole. You know, I can't stand him. Let's take that aside. Let's just look at it like fresh set of eyes. What are you really losing? You're losing a guy that gets his team to the wild card annually, wins around 90 games, and loses in the first round of the playoffs. That's basically been his CV since he became a Yankee manager. And if they do win the division, the odd time he's only won the division like 3 or 4 times in his 10 years here. But even still, 9 times out of 10, it's a very swift exit. So what is it that we're really losing if Aaron Boone gets fired? What is it that we're really losing? Not really losing anything, are you? You're losing around, like, you're losing a guy that gets you to the first round of the playoffs and a quick exit. Is that really something that's merited multiple extensions, tons of money, and 10 years to be manager of the New York Yankees? I don't know. It's in fact I do know. That's not enough of a CV. I'm sorry. Like All right, so you win 90 games. I would kind of expect you to win 90 games with a $300 million payroll. Frankly, it's what you do in October, and 99 times out of 100, he's completely fluffed up in October. So what is it that we're really losing? You know, you're losing Aaron Judge's buddy. He doesn't need to be buddies with everybody. He seems to think so, but he doesn't. You know, Jazz's buddy. Well, hopefully Jazz isn't going to be here next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it that we're really losing? So I don't get it. I don't get it. And Brian Cashman, oh, how could you please get rid of? How could you get rid of the goat? Easy. Have you seen some of the moves that he's made over the last couple of years? The vast majority of his moves have been colossal failures. So, again, why not make a change? It can't be that. It can't be that difficult, surely. Just change it up a little bit. Let's give us all a breath of fresh air. Let's try something new. The only thing you're losing, like, even if it doesn't work out, the only difference is, well, you're probably still making the playoffs because there's like multiple wild cards. So, like, nothing would really be that, even if it went badly wrong, this is already as bad as it's probably going to get. You've not won anything in 16 years, so you're not really losing anything. What are you going to lose? You're going to, what? You're going to get the second or third wild card instead of the first? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd love to ask that question to Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman defenders. What is it that you'd really lose if they move on? What is it? Do you get the second or third wild card instead of the first? We've not won anything in 16 years. You telling me that no one else can do that job? Yeah, I have a hard time believing that this is the best they could possibly be. I have a hard time believing that. And you look at this roster construction. I did a video on it the other day. We have what, 6, 7 DHs, and we have like 8 lefty bats. Like, come on, guys, this is the best you can do. You lose Aaron Judge, and suddenly you're the worst offense in baseball. You're like the Colorado Rockies of baseball, offensively without Aaron Judge. Come on, there has to be, you know, there has to be some middle ground here. I'm not expecting you to be the LA Dodgers without Aaron Judge, but I'm not expecting you to be the Colorado Rockies either. Like, and if you look at our numbers, we're rock bottom, right across the board, offensively, since Aaron Judge has gone down. So it really speaks to this incredible rotation. And yes, we have like 5 first basemen, bro. It's insane. Like, it's insane. We have Garcia as a first baseman. You have Goldschmidt, who's been forgotten about. He's a first baseman. You go Rice, who's a first baseman. That's 3. Bellinger can come in and do first base at a pinch. That's 4. Spencer Jones can play first base. That's 5. We have all those guys that can play first base. And then second base is, we got Jazz, and that's it. Nightmare. Third base, McMahon. Rosario's a DH. As I say, we've got like 6, 7 DHs. We've got Rosario's a DH, Garcia's a DH, Ramos is a DH, Rice is a DH. Whew. I'd say Grisham is more of a DH at this stage because he can't field. That's 5. Who else? Who else is a freaking DH at this point? You know what I'm saying? Stanton's DH when he comes back. And by the way, Aaron Judge, more likely than not, he's going to be a DH when he comes back. That's like 7 DHs. Thanks, Cash. Healing Man's Hearts. I don't blame the former players not wanting to come to the stadium anymore. I wouldn't either. Yeah, I'm protesting it. I've not been to the stadium this year. I only went once last year. It's my own quiet protest. I need change. I need change. I need change. I need to see something. I need something. I need to see something to get behind. I need to see a vision. I need to see an owner that steps out of his hiding place wherever he is, whatever yacht that he is, and him to come out and set some standards. I need a manager that sets standards and sets leadership, and I need a general manager that isn't such an arrogant gas bag, really. So until I see change in that regard, then I'm not going to be optimistic about this team because um, everyone's a DH. Everyone's lefty DH in Brian Cashman's world. Um, why are we not allowed to ask these questions? But the Yankees are so protective, you don't allow the media to ask them questions. Issy, I'm very concerned about Judge's injury long term. Yeah, it's a very difficult injury to recover from. And if I were the Yankees, um, I would sit him. I would sit him this season. They can't honestly, seriously think that they're going to win a world championship with this team. And and anyway, what are you going to do? Judge is going to DH. Then what? If Judge DHs, then what are you going to do with Garcia and Ramos and Rice and Stanton and you know what? What are you? What are they going to do? We got Felix Nunez, $2 super chat. Thank you so much, bro. Blessings up to you and the fam. Blessing up to you, bro. Felix Nunez, $2 super chat. The AB with Ramos with the bases loaded, though. WTF? Um, yeah, as Uncle Tat says here, facts, Felix. We had the opportunity to blow the game open and give Bednar a break, and he blew it. Ramos batting like 083. That's crazy, man. Crazy. Um, I've said it before. I don't like the trade. I didn't like the trade. I thought it was an overpay. Um, I thought that giving up a top five prospect and then another top 13 prospect in the same package for a platoon DH, who's one of the worst left fielders in baseball, and he's having a severe down year. It didn't make any sense to me, and it still doesn't. I think it was just a panic move by a panic GM. But no one holds him accountable. No one holds him accountable in the world of baseball. No one holds him accountable in the media. So, and no one holds him accountable in his own organization. Hal doesn't seem to give a shit. So, we're just basically shouting into an empty void here, even though it's the truth. We're just shouting into an empty void because he seems to just get away with it with impunity. And it's depressing, really. It is. Ramos shouldn't be here. It was a shitty trade. Like, if you want to make the trade in the off season, fine, because at least you have a vision. But a panic trade, giving up two top 13 prospects for him, that is a stupid trade from a shitty GM. Healing Man's Hearts. Bat looks good to me so far. From Benny Barrels. What's up, Benny Barrels? Who looks good? His swing has always played. Are we talking about Elliot Ramos? Because he doesn't look good to me. Ramos is worse than Dominguez. That's right. You had Dominguez. You could have just saved your top 13 two top 13 prospects and just had Dominguez. What's the difference? Nine of them can field, and offensively, it's kind of a wash. Oh, Betty Barrow says Lombard. Oh, Lombard's amazing. FJ, what are the Yankees getting from Ramos? Exactly, that is the point. What are you getting from Ramos that you didn't get from Dominguez? I don't understand the trade, but Cashman doesn't answer questions. No one holds him accountable. The media doesn't hold him accountable. Nobody holds him accountable. So he makes these ridiculous trades with impunity, and we just have to accept that. But like, what was his reasoning here? And that's why I keep saying, um, I don't think Cashman has a vision. I think that he's a reactionary GM. I think he gets to each deadline, and he's like, "Oh shit, we don't have any righty bats, right? Panic, right? Let's go and get one in." And then we have to give up a king's ransom to bring in that righty bat that he just didn't really need to make it, didn't even need to do in the first place. Like, I don't see any difference between Dominguez and Ramos. Now, Ramos, you probably say is higher upside because he was an all-star in 2024. But having said that, he's having a terrible, terrible year. Terrible year. I'm not quite sure what they were expecting was going to be different. No, he's yeah. As for Lombard, he's definitely ready. Jones, I've been happy with Jones. I don't have any issue with Jones at all. I think Jones has played pretty well. But from what I'm hearing, when Judge is ready to go, I think Jones is going to be sent down. So we're going to get a whole lot of Elliot Ramos. Got loads of people in the chat here. Good to see everyone in the chat. Please hit the like button. Cashman just makes moves to make moves. I agree. He thinks he's the smartest in the room, but he's a moron. That's getting a star, bro. That's exactly my takeaway. He thinks he's the smartest in the room, but he often gets handed his ass. He doesn't foresee issues. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have vision. Like, what was his vision regarding catcher? What was his vision regarding left righty bats? What was his? Why does he seem to have 7 DHs? Like, what was his plan? I don't see a plan. I don't see foresight. I don't see thinking. I don't see any kind of vision. I just see like a guy making moves just to make moves. Tat says sending Jones down while keeping Ramos is pathetic and should be a felony. Tats ain't messing around. Uncle Tats, what's happened to your computer, bro? You don't come back on? Can you not come back on? Yeah, I don't think the organization loves Spencer Jones that much, but I like him. I think he's good. He has nothing left to learn in the minors. He's much better than a minor league player. You could make the argument he's a quadruple A player, but for me, I think he's had some quality at bats in the big leagues, and I think he's better than Jason Dominguez. But I also think Dominguez is as good, if not slightly better, than Ramos. So that's why. I mean, neither option's that amazing, to be fair. But let's see my boy Dominguez. Dominguez was starting to come round, I thought. So for the Yankees, he's bat 230 with 6 homers, 14 RBIs. This is obviously not good. 12 doubles, 7 stolen bases, and 200 at bats. Okay. Not great. Not great. But I don't think it's the end of the world. Because what's Ramos done since coming up here? It's actually been worse. Like, he's been awful. He's batting 083 as a Yankee, Elliot Ramos. So let's see. As a Yankee, he is a -5 WAR player, with 0 home runs, 0 RBIs, a 0.77 batting average. So it's actually gone down. let's see here. His ROBA is 184. He's a -3 R bat. His OPS is 370. His slug is 150. His on base percentage is 200. And he is a negative -0.5 WAR player. Nah, Dominguez is better. Dominguez is a better player. You should just get Dominguez. Ramos is awful. Those are awful. Those numbers are freaking dog shit. Spencer Jones. I like Spencer Jones. I really don't. I don't have an issue with Spencer Jones. Yeah, he strikes out a bit, but I think he's pretty good. 5 home runs in 140 at bats. That's not too bad. 18 RBIs. Better than Dominguez. Now his 88 OPS plus is not great. I get it, but that also accounts for his first spell, which was bad. His first spell up was bad, but his second spell has been good. He's looked like a decent player. At least he's a plus WAR player so far. I think he's been fine, absolutely fine. Don't have an issue with him. 5 home runs is not bad in like 100+ at bats. It's not too bad at all. Not amazing, but he's still young. I don't see a big issue with him. By the way, Volpe had 171 at bats and had just 1 home run, and he has a OPS plus of 82. So like, I just think that they have different narratives for different players. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems to hurt them personally that they had to send down Volpe, but they don't. They seem to have no issue with Dominguez being down there and making a dumb trade for Ramos. I don't get it. TC Steels. I smacked that like button harder than Boone smacks his gum, my guy. Evan, I wish we had Luis Ariz instead of Jazz. That was a trade. It was a no-brainer trade, but Cashman doesn't make no-brainer trades. He doesn't like that because he wants to be the smartest guy in the room. Smack that like button for Donald once again, holding it down for all of us. What's up? Thank you, Uncle T. I appreciate you, brother. Uncle T, you got to get your computer fixed, my guy. Benny Barrel says, if you want my opinion, I think the Yankees need 2 outfielders in the offseason. Well, I agree. I don't know if we're going to get baseball. But the offseason, yes. Now, Ramos is under control. What do you want to do with Ramos? I'm already ready to trade him again. I don't think he adds anything to this roster. I think a really bad left fielder that strikes out too much, that is a platoon outfielder at best anyway. I don't really see the point in keeping him. I don't understand why he made the trade in the first place, and I'm certainly not interested in keeping him. So yeah, he's available, but his value is going to be non-existent now thanks to Cashman. He just gave up a top 5 prospect for Henry Lalane. So what are you going to get for trading Ramos in the offseason? You'll be lucky to get anything. Thanks, Cashman. But I do agree. So let's look at our outfield going into next year. At the moment, Ramos will be part of the conversation because he's under control. Grisham will be gone, thankfully. Thank God. Right? Judge, 35 years old, coming off broken ribs, is probably going to need more DH time. I don't want him diving for balls when he's playing right field next year. But okay, he's your right fielder. Center fielder, vacant. Left fielder, Bellinger. if you want Ramos to be a fourth outfielder, well, I guess so. But what do you do about Spencer Jones and Dominguez? So what I would be doing is I think they need to acquire a center fielder, and I would be trading Ramos, and you got Bellinger there. You need some power. You need some power in the outfield to help out with Judge. So like Grisham's got to go. Ramos, I'm not a fan of. He can go. Dominguez, I don't know what future he has as a Yankee. Like I like him a lot, uh, but I think he'll be better in another organization. Now, if the Yankees, and I'm really hoping upon hope, get a new get a new general manager and a new manager, I would be willing to have Dominguez under new management because I think another situation like another manager, new GM might actually help develop him better because the Yankees' development record is dog shit. So I would be interested in that. Same with Spencer Jones, but if and I think this is what's going to happen. I think Boone and Cashman come back again just to make us all miserable because the Yankees are not interested in making their fans happy. Um, and they're not interested in winning, so they'll probably want to bring those guys back because they are the best at not winning. Um, if that's the case, then I think Dominguez probably needs to go. Uh, so, because I think Dominguez would be better in another organization. And I think he would be pretty good in another organization. I really do. I think there's something there. But he just needs time and he needs some work and he needs some development and working his kinks and all that stuff. I think another team could do that. It's not the Yankees. Spencer Jones, I have higher hope for him because he's got that power upside that Dominguez doesn't. And he's got that immense glove that Dominguez doesn't. And he's got the athleticism that Dominguez doesn't. So I'm going with Spencer Jones. I'd keep him in the organization. Uh, uh, I'm giving him a chance, but let's see. You're saying they need two outfielders. I'm gonna go one, but it needs to be a damn good one. It needs to be like an all-star caliber outfielder. That's what I would be doing. Um, Spencer Jones could be my fourth outfielder. If you might maybe package a trade for Dominguez, Elia Ramos, and a B prospect, can you get a really good um, all-star caliber center fielder with power from the right side? I would be trying to do that. So I do agree with Benny Barrels that they do need an outfielder because by the way, they've overpaid for Cody Bellinger. Unpopular take, but that's the truth. They severely overpaid for him. But once again, thanks Cashman. Um, does things with impunity. So there he is. So yes, in the next season, they definitely need at least one outfielder. Grisham has been awful. $23.5 million. Having said that, shout out to Grisham for yesterday. He was the entire offense. So he has the odd good game in him. 99 is going to be 35 years old. What are they doing? This is madness. It's sad. It's sad. I don't understand. Like, how is it so difficult to put a team around someone that's so good? How difficult can it possibly be? Wells can't be your starter next year. Of course not, dude. He shouldn't be anything more than a backup. About a couple of switch hitters, yeah. How about a couple of move off some of these lefties? That would be nice. What are they gonna do though? Like we're talking about next year, but what are they gonna do about this year? Because there's there's still what 30 plus games left, and then there's the postseason which they'll make. What are they gonna do with this team? I look at it and it makes no sense to me whatsoever. Like, not even MLB The Show could make this make any sense to me. So I need the y'all in the chat to help me. What is this lineup going to be? When Aaron Judge comes back, I've read that they're going to want to give him a lot of DH time, right? So let's pencil Aaron Judge at DH. Who plays right field? If they send down Spencer Jones, which Michael Kay said they will, right? What are they going to do? So Judge DH is Bellinger plays left field. Gresham plays center field. Right field is what? Ramos? Are we being serious? Are we being serious? You want him in right field? Oh God! You know what I'm saying? Right? Okay. First base. So, but by the way, if Judge is DH, then what do you do with Ben Rice and Garcia, guys that you need in the lineup? All right. So let's put Ben Rice at first base. Who's playing second? Do you want Garcia to play second? He's a first baseman slash DH. You can't play second. So Jazz is going to play second. Lombard fine. McMahon, well, not fine, but it is what it is. And Austin Wells a catcher. So you're then going to have Garcia sitting out. You're going to have Stanton sitting out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't make sense. This lineup doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. What if Stanton gets fully healthy? Don't you want him in the lineup? Where's he going to play? Right? Let's say, like, every single way I try and like think of this in my head, it makes less sense than it did the minute prior. All right, let's say Spencer Jones. Well, he'll be sent down because I don't see any reason why they'd keep him up. Let's say Stanton is fully healthy in September. How are you going to get him at bats? He plays DH. Then what does that mean for Ramos and Garcia and Rice? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. You know what I'm saying? One of Ben Rice and Garcia has to miss a game. Right? Or but okay, let's try Rice at DH and Garcia at first base, okay? Well, that takes the DH spot away from Aaron Judge and Stanton. Right, so who's going to play right field? Judge, okay? So then Stanton's what's going to sit in the bench? It doesn't make sense. Like, and then what are you going to do with the guy that you just given up a top 5 prospect for? Ramos? He's just going to be sitting out, twiddling the thumbs. There is no way to successfully piece this all together. There is none. It is nonsensical. Every way you look at it, it makes no sense. DC says Judge has to play right field and Stanton has to DH in postseason, okay? And I agree. But you're risking Judge re-aggravating the injury by him playing the outfield. But I get that. But okay, Judge plays right field, Stanton DH. Then what are you going to do with Garcia? Is he going to play second base? Do you want to play? If you think Jazz is bad in second base, try Garcia. You know? So Garcia's just sitting out. Garcia's one of the only guys that can hit. That was actually one of the only moves that Cashman made that was actually decent. I quite like Garcia. I think he's all right. I don't think he's great, but I think he's all right. Jones moves to center field. Then what about Grisham? Benny Barrel says it'll be Grisham, Bellinger, Judge, Lombard, Stanton, Rice, Garcia, McMahon, Wells. So what, Garcia playing second base in your team, bro? Grisham, I assume center field. Bellinger left field. Judge right field. Stanton, I assume would be the DH. Rice will play first. Garcia he'd be playing second base. I mean, dude, he's not played second base at all this year. He didn't even play second base in his prior team. This year. So uh, I don't feel it, bro. Issy's right. Understand the pathetic Washington Nationals moved Garcia from second base. They're a horrible organization. They knew better. God save us if we boo him. It's exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Is like whatever decision you make, considering we have 7 DHs, whatever decision you make to fill DH on that particular day, one good bat has to sit. At least. Maybe two. Because of Cashman's pathetic roster construction. It is a pathetic roster construction. Probably the most pathetic roster construction I've come across as a Yankee fan. I've never seen worse. How many years do we have Garcia for? He's under he's definitely here for next season. Definitely. Chaz will be a second. Yeah, I think he will be a second as well because I'm. I mean, if we were to see Garcia play second base, I think we would see it by now. And by the way, Boone's already said he doesn't see Garcia as a second baseman. He already said he sees him as a first baseman slash DH. So if that's the case, the only way it actually works is if you work out Ben Rice a catcher. But Cashman says that's not an issue. That's not going to happen. But that's the only way that you can probably fit this whole thing in. If you work Ben Rice out at catcher, you're getting better offensively there, and then you can kick out Austin Wells, which makes me happy. Then you can shift Garcia over to first base. Then you're guaranteed to open up at bats for Stanton. That's the only way it can work. But they're not going to do that. But I think that what they're going to do is I think you're not going to see Stanton. That's my prediction. I don't think you're going to see much of Stanton. I think you're going to see him. He'll maybe play once a week. And I think you're going to see him used primarily as a pinch hitter. And by the way, Aaron Boone is not a good enough manager to figure those games out in game. Those at bats out in game. He's not that good enough manager. He's not a tactician. So I don't see him using Stanton in the right scenario. This is not good. Every way you look at it, this is not good. Best case scenario is that Stanton doesn't come back. Well, not if you actually want the Yankees to do something in October. You need Stanton. Rice can't even play first. You're right. He's not a good first baseman. TC says you have to have the best team in the field in postseason. The best hitters in the team must start. I think the Yankees have to go run prevention because if they just put the 9 best offensive players on the field, there's going to be all errors galore, and the only way this Yankee team can win is through run prevention. Stanton has been out all year. Has no legs. I know that. I hate to say it because he's like my favorite player on the team. He is. But it's been a disastrous year for him. But okay, let's go with the scenario that we don't see Stanton at all. Stanton is he's out. He doesn't play. We still have that same problem with too many DHs. It's the truth. Whether Stanton is here or he isn't, regardless, we still have too many DHs, and I don't know how we're going to get it all to work out. Some bat is going to have to miss games. It doesn't make sense to me. I agree, Issy. In the playoffs, we have to have the best defensive players out there as possible, or it'll be another playoff embarrassment like that fifth inning in the World Series. Exactly. You have to go run prevention because your pitching is going to ensure that you're not going to give up any more than 1 or 2 runs in a game, right? But in order for that to happen, you need run prevention. You need some good defenders because our offense is cooked. Even with Aaron Judge and Bellinger, is cooked. This offense can't be fixed. It needs completely torn down. Completely torn down and rebuilt. You're asking a 35-year-old with a broken rib to put the offense on his back. They think he's Superman. I guess he's as close to it as you get in baseball, but still, that's asking too much, and it's unfair on him. Ramos and Stan will play in October. Well, I mean, it's a horrible look for Brian Cashman, though, bro, because Cashman gave up a top 5 prospect for Ramos. Yeah, I think that some people seem to think that they have a memory of a goldfish, and they seem to forget that this offense was garbage with Bellinger and Judge in the lineup. There's no way you can fix this because it's an entirely left-handed team. Entirely. That's an easy way of for a bullpen to navigate. Easy. Yeah, it's going to be the roster. It's not going to be a good roster. And got Donnie Clark in the chat. What's good? Far too left-handed. Dude is entirely left-handed. Let's go right around the horn. Austin Wells, catcher, left-handed. Ben Rice, left-handed. Garcia, left-handed. Chaz, left-handed. McMahon, left-handed. Grisham, left-handed. Jones, left-handed. Okay, what are we doing here? Seriously, Bellinger, left-handed. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Come on. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing, Cashman? The entire team is left-handed. What are you doing? How can you be this bad at your job? And the thing is, nobody asks him these questions. I just want someone to hold him accountable. Please, can anybody hold him accountable? Why do you have 6 DHs and 8 lefties? Like, what? Honestly, the day that Cashman's no longer the Yankee GM, I will celebrate. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. He's here forever. I think he's here forever. Oh, I can't believe it. It's never ending. The pain. The pain that Cashman inflicts upon me. Let's talk about Max Fried being on the IL. I think that's his season, by the way. Now Boone seems to think that it's not a big deal, but it's the same injury that he aggravated before, and the first time it cost him 2 months. So why would it only cost him 15 days this time? I'm no doctor, but that doesn't seem to make any sense to me. If you re-aggravated the same injury that cost you 2 months earlier this season, why do you think that it'll only take the 15 days this time around? I think he's done for the year as well, Benny. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Donnie Clark, Cashman is never held responsible. It's the same old song. Well said, bro. No, Fried's done for the year as far as I'm concerned. Now, Boone says that he's still working out and he's still like throwing. Donald, he played catch yesterday. I think it's a Phantom DL. Fried is done. He's probably got a much more serious issue going on, and he made it worse coming back. I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't want to trust this Yankee medical staff. Um, it's no surprise to me that as soon as Fried came back, he got injured again. That means something's not right. Again, I am not a doctor, but if you just come back from injury and then you get injured again, re-aggravating the same injuries before, that means it wasn't completely healed. That I'm certain of. It means it wasn't completely healed in the first place. So it sounds to me like they rushed him back. He's clearly got this same bone bruise as before. Bone bruises take a long time to heal. They are not easy. It's not like a bruise on your skin. Like a bone bruise takes time to heal. It's on your bone, for Christ's sake. It's going to take time. Honestly, I think the best thing that they could do is sit him for the year. Fried has injury history. We over relied on him last year. He pitched like an absolute beast last year. Like he was our workhorse. But he has an injury history, man. And that was the risk with him. Um, I think we got an amazing year out of him last year, and the payback is he's going to get a little bit hurt this year. He's on the wrong side of 30. These things are going to happen. He's still a workhorse. He's still a dog, absolutely. But you got to be careful with him. I don't see any good in him coming back in 15 days. I don't see any good. I think the best thing they can do is okay. Here we go. We got an update from John. Fried has minor inflammation this time, according to Boone, who said that's what the doctor said is not as severe as last time. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. First of all, I never believe anything that Aaron Boone says. Boone is well known for not telling the truth. He always downplays injuries. Always. He's been downplaying injuries since he's got here. Um, and and second of all, it just doesn't make any sense. Minor inflammation, that's not good news. I don't see any good news here. I think you got to be really patient with Max Fried. He had a bone bruise that cost him 2 months. He comes back. He pitches a couple of games and he's out again. How is that a good sign? Like, and I'm not a doctor, but that's not really a great sign. I think you got to be really patient with him. Yeah, Stevie B doesn't trust Yankee doctors either. I agree, bro. I don't trust them either. Even if the doctors are spot on, I just don't think that it's really a great sign that he had a bone bruise and he just got back. He's only had a handful of starts, um, and now he's got inflammation again. So what? Who's to say that's not going to continue? It says to me like he needs to sit and rest. Now, luckily, Rodon's back, but they're just going to be swapping each other out, and that means that we have to put up with Will Warren. Benny, I'm with you on that. The only reason I'm watching is because of Lombard. I agree. He's the only one that gives me any. He's made me love baseball again. Yeah, the Yankees have made me actually like detest baseball. They've made it so awful to watch because the way that they play baseball is awful. The standard of baseball is awful. They aren't. They don't have. They don't play with any excitement, energy. Yankee Stadium's dead. Like, there's nothing really to be really excited about if you're a Yankee fan. But there is Lombard, and he is genuinely exciting. Like, he is an absolutely amazing player to look at. So he can do everything. He can hit to all fields. Amazing glove. His bats are awesome. I agree, completely agree with you. His at bats are awesome. His attitude's awesome. His energy is awesome. He's a really good kid. Amazing range, amazing glove. Like, there's so much to love about him. He is one guy. If there is something to go and watch the Yankees for, it would be him. The rest, I couldn't be honest and say that you should be spending hard on money to watch Elliot Ramos play baseball or Jazz play baseball. Um, yeah, there's this exactly, dude. Hard to root for him. I can't. Like, it feels like I've got a very strong sense of justice. Right, this is who I am. Right, that's why I'm so outspoken about the Yankees, because I just truly believe that the way that they're going right now is wrong. I I just can't shake it. I know some fans just kind of treat it like, hey, it's the Yankees. As long as they got a Yankee hat on, I'm rooting for them, and that's totally cool. And God bless you if you've got that opinion. But for me, like, the way that Cashman has handled his fan base and the media and his organization, and the way that he's pushed out legends, and the way he's treated legends, the way he treated Judge in free agency, the way he treated Jeter in free agency, like the way he's pushed out so many guys like Posada out of the organization and things like that, the way he fired Rob Thompson and Joe Girardi and all this stuff. Like, I find him basically impossible to root for. I find him a horror, an absolute horror. And then Aaron Boone, yeah, I mean, manager, give me a break. He's not a manager. He's just a little puppet, and he's got no balls, and he's got no gumption. He's got nothing. It's just weak, weak as shit. And that's why it's really hard to root for this team. And then you've got so many assholes in the team as well, such as Jazz. So it's a difficult team to root for, and they don't play hard. So yeah, I get it. But Lombard is one guy that is exciting to get behind, as is Cam Schlitter. Cam Schlitter is great to get to watch as well. Yeah, Nez, I agree. As long as Lombard keeps away from Boone's cupcakes, he should be fine. You know, my real concern? Lombard listens to his dad when it comes to hitting. Good. Don't listen to the Yankees. That will not change. Well, good, because I was going to say, please don't listen to the Yankees, because I actually know this for a fact. The Yankees love guys that are more pull hitters and more exit velo and more launch angle than they are guys that can hit to all fields. They don't really like those kind of guys, because they've tried to change those swings numerous times. I've talked with a Yankee legend about this, and that's why he doesn't really take part in the Yankee organization right now, is because um, the Yankees are very obsessed with launch angle, etc., and have tried to change guys' swings from being able to hit to all fields to just being more home run or bust kind of guys. And I don't want to see that for Lombard. They've done it to numerous prospects. That's why they all suck. So um, I hope that the Yankees don't get their stinking hands on Lombard, because Lombard is an absolute gem. He is a diamond in the rough, as they say. He is a diamond in the rough. The Yankees are rough. Lombard is a diamond. Yes, exactly. That losing culture mindset. And by the way, you've seen that already. You've seen it from Ramos, who was in the building for what, a week, and then he's already dogging it to first base. You know what I'm saying? Because he's been jazzified. Because that's what happens if you allow Jazz to screw around on and off the field. then people around him are going to think, oh, well, it must be fine for me to do it too. All right, I'm just going to take this play off as well. That's what happens if you don't have leadership. And that's why Aaron Boone is such a joke. Have you noticed the players with dads who played tend to resist bad coaching more effectively? Um, well, yes and no, because Aaron Boone, Aaron Boone's third generation of baseball player. You know, Brett Boone, legendary player for the Mariners. His dad, very good baseball player. He's third generation, and Aaron Boone's a horrible coach, and he allows shit. And he allows shit to happen under his nose. The most embarrassing shit to happen under his nose. So Aaron Boone, yeah, he is a sellout. And uh, but every other example other than Aaron Boone, yeah, I totally agree with you. But Boone is, he's unfortunately, he's the opposite in that regard. It's crazy. And Aaron Boone always says, "Oh, I'm third generation. I'm a baseball guy, bro." Well, if you're a baseball guy, how are you totally okay with guys sucking on lollipops and docking it to first base? Like, are you okay with that? Maybe he's not okay with it, but Brian Cashman tells him that he has to be okay with it. In which case, it still makes Aaron Boone a sellout. Aaron Boone was awful on the Yankees. He was. He was terrible. Joe Torre described him as skittish. There's nothing lead. There was no leader. Nothing remotely approaching leadership about Aaron Boone as a baseball player. Was he that much of a leader when he played pickup basketball and tore his ACL? Is that a leader? After the Yankees lost the World Series, does that seem to you like he's a good leader? So he wasn't much of a leader as a player. And he was skittish on the field, as Joe Torre said. Nervous as shit. He just cheated on a knuckleball. He cheated on it. He got ahead. He got out in front and launched it into the upper decks. It was a great home run, but he cheated on it. And for some reason, it's meant that he can be here for 10 years as a manager. It's beyond belief. But no, he is. I don't think he's allowed to do shit either. And that's which again is a bad reflection on Aaron Boone. I mean, obviously, Cashman is horrible for that. But again, it's a terrible look for Aaron Boone. Terrible look for Aaron Boone. That's why we need to clean house, exactly, and keep these Nimrods away from Cam, Bryce, and Lombard. They're the future and our only hope. Uh, agree, completely agree in every single way, and that's why it doesn't make any sense to make one move and not the other. So if you keep Cashman and get rid of Aaron Boone, all Cashman's going to do is he's going to bring in another puppet. Or if you get rid of Cashman but you keep Aaron Boone, well, Aaron Boone's still going to be the same idiot that has allowed this kind of horrendous, lackadaisical attitude to be just spreading throughout the locker room. It's crazy. Ramos was in the building for a week and he's already like barely jogging to first base now because he doesn't give a shit. Because half their team doesn't give a shit, so why should he? So like one or the other makes no sense. Both has to go. Both of them. Both of them have to go. Now, if I was given the choice of who should, if it is one or the other, I'm still going Aaron Boone has to go because I can't imagine any other manager would be this much of a joke of a leader. I can't foresee it. So Yeah, Cashman is a lifetime contract. I agree. If Cashman just allowed his managers to manage and he brought in a manager, then I wouldn't be hating on Cashman as much as I do. But the terrible roster construction plus the way he has to treat um these managers like they're puppets on strings, I'm gonna hate on him for it. Dude, I'm sorry, I hate to say it. See, I don't see Aaron Judge winning a championship. That's just not gonna happen unless one of them, both of them have to go. No, and I also don't believe Judge is built for it. I agree. And Judge is just as complicit. Just because he's not here doesn't mean that and he's been injured all year. Doesn't mean that he is not complicit in a lot of this. He has a lot of power. He has a lot of sway. He just wants a team of friends, and he's not a great leader. And um, he focuses on shit that doesn't matter. He's a bit of a corny captain. Like I really lost a lot of respect for him with this whole stuff about the stadium DJ. I lost a lot of respect for him for that. So essentially, I know the fans don't like it, but I want it as loud as possible to because to drown out the apathy from the fan base is just like, bro, like what are you focusing on? Oh, well, it's all right. We'll just put the boom box in the dugout. It just seems like he's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. I just don't. I don't like him as a leader. I think he's more worried about being buddies with people. He was on the phone with Volpe for well over an hour, 2 hours the first time he got sent down. Come on, man. That that made me very uncomfortable. Just says to me like he's got his favorites and he's got his buddies. I do. I think he's a total. I think he's. I think he's a weak leader. Yeah, on and off the field, I agree. And plus, let's not forget that 8 times out of 10 he chokes in the big moment. He's just not. He's not a big moment player. Um, he doesn't have that intensity. Like for instance, after the embarrassing some of these embarrassing World Series games, he kept saying stuff like, "Oh, a loss is a loss." He said that. That's not acceptable. I don't want to hear that from my captain. I think he work well with somebody that brings intensity, though, like a co-star that has the intensity. Judge can work off of that, and that's why him and Soto were such a good partnership because Soto had that intensity. Soto had the that gene where he loved the big moment, where Judge doesn't. Soto had that kind of like fuck you kind of attitude, and Judge is more kind of like a California chilled attitude. So, um, Judge's kind of more soft aspect to Soto's more intense aspect. The two of them worked together really quite well. It kind of worked. It was a good duo, but without Soto, then Judge is just back to being who he is, just a very poor leader. Yeah, I don't care if it's not a popular opinion. I genuinely don't, as you can tell. Um, well, he's made for the modern Yankees. I don't think he would be made for the dynasty Yankees though, because there was intensity that Judge would not be comfortable with. There was an atmosphere, a cutthroat atmosphere that Judge just would not be comfortable with. Like there was no a loss is a loss in the 90s and the thousands. Judge would not handle having managers come and go, freaking coaches come and go, players come and go. That kind of accountability, where if you have a stretch of bad games, you're DFA'd or out in your ass instantly. Judge would not be comfortable with that. Dude, he was on the phone with Anthony Volpe for 2 hours. Could you imagine this? How he'd handle George Steinbrenner? Shit, he wouldn't. He wouldn't handle it. Judges are Carmelo Anthony. No, I prefer Carmelo, bro. I'm sorry. I much prefer Carmelo Anthony than Aaron Judge. I love Carmelo Anthony. Ugh. But I think Carmelo Anthony loved the big moment and he loved the playoffs, whereas Aaron Judge doesn't. So I disagree with that comparison. Um, Carmelo was never a winning player. He was never really put in a position to be in a winning player. I mean, they made trades for Andrea Bargnani. I mean, he was a fucking nightmare. Um, the the there was so many awful moves that the Nick front office made. There was no chance. I mean, Lou Almond Milk, Lou Amundsen, those guys, Dallenberg. I mean, there was some awful trades that we put around Carmelo Anthony. I don't think Carmelo Anthony had any chance to succeed. Um, he didn't never played defense and didn't make his teammates around him better. Well, I mean, yeah, he was a little focused on his stats. I'll give you that. But again, I think Carmelo Anthony's a Hall of Fame player, one of the greatest scorers of all time, and a Nick legend. And I would retire his jersey. MSG's probably, to be honest, like I'm probably not the guy that talks about that because for me, Carmelo Anthony's probably my favorite player growing up. Loved him, absolutely loved him as a player. I've never been a big Judge guy. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate him as an amazing player, which Aaron Judge is. I'm just not a big fan of his personality. And I just kind of prefer like tougher guys. In fact, I prefer Soto. I'm not saying Soto's a better player. I just prefer Soto's personality. I prefer a tougher, more intense attitude. Everyone has their own preference regards to that. I just think Aaron Judge is a little bit kind of soft for me. John the Beagle Dad. At first, I was angry to re-sign Judge. Now I'm even more angry. Yeah, thank you, Issy. Me too. So is that guy. Exactly. Just just that home run that he hit to get us to the World Series and the way he pimped it. Like that dude just had it, man. He just had it. Um, he just had it. He had that it factor. I've not seen that from Judge in a big moment. At first, I was angry to resign. To be honest, I'm only angry at Brian Cashman's behavior because Brian Cashman embarrassed himself and embarrassed Aaron Judge in the free agent discussion. Um, Judge made it clear, please don't make our negotiations public. And Brian Cashman lied to him. He walked out and immediately made it public. He then lost Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge was going to go to San Francisco or go to San Diego until Hal uh, intervened. But that was because of Brian Cashman. Because Brian Cashman is an embarrassment. Yes, he is. He's a disgrace, and that's why I can't stand him. That's why I find him a horror of a human being. You can't. That's not someone you can negotiate with in good faith. How can you trust them? How can you trust Brian Cashman? If you say, please, Brian Cashman, don't make our negotiation public, and he goes, oh, of course, Aaron. And then he walks outside and makes it public. then you can't trust him. You're just a nasty asshole. And that's why Derek Jeter doesn't like him. Because he did the same thing with Jeter in negotiations. Like, Brian Cashman has to win every single negotiation, not for the good of the Yankees, but for the good of his ego. Because he needs to be the smartest guy in the room, and he needs to win. It's not the right attitude as a general manager. The attitude with someone like Aaron Judge is, right, what's it going to work? What's it going to take to get you here? What's going to take for you to not test free agency and be a Yankee for your life, for the rest of your life? That should be the attitude with an Aaron Judge. That should be the attitude with a Derek Jeter. Now, with others, yes, you have to win negotiations, but with superstars, I'm sorry, you have to give a little bit. Donnie Clark says Judge needs more protection. Yeah, it's Brian Cashman's fault. Where's the help coming from? Nowhere. Yeah, this roster is awful. Not the attitude of what winners are supposed to be. Agree with that. We do everything in Cali at our own pace. If you want someone at a meeting at 1 p.m., tell them it starts at noon. That's awesome. Judge has never really had a really good team, but I kind of disagree with you. I think that 2024 team was probably it. Still, Brian Cashman screwed it up, but that 2024 team was it. When you got Soto and Aaron Judge and a healthy Stanton, 2, 3, 4 every day in your lineup, that's pretty special. That was a good team. They just screwed up. You know, you had Garrett Cole there. That 2024 team was good enough to win a championship. What they needed was they needed better management from Aaron Boone, tougher, holding people more accountable, setting standards. You needed that. And then you also needed him to manage the bullpen better, which he didn't do. But also you needed Brian Cashman to help and bring in the leadoff hitter, which he couldn't do. But that 2024 team was as close to a championship caliber team as we've had. That was our window for me. When Soto left, so did the Yankees' chances. Yeah, if Soto was here, it would be a lot different. I agree with you. I would actually give a shit about this team, frankly. Because there would still be hope. Yeah, man, I agree with you. I can't believe to this day we lost Soto to the Mets. I know. I think it's copium. People act like it didn't happen. I think it's copium. What's going on my hair? Fuck me. I think it's copium. I think it's. I think the fans are just coping. I think we're in a. Yeah, I agree though. I've not been the same since we lost Soto. I always had hope. With Soto, I felt we still had hope. Without him, I just don't think we have any. Yeah, I'd say so. He probably does, but who would want to be in Queens? I don't know. I don't know anyone who'd want to be in Queens for the rest of their careers. But he did that to himself. So I mean, I'm not gonna like lose any sleep over his decision making, but the Yankees have not been the same since he left. I mean, I just liked his attitude. Like, for instance, like I think when the Yankees got through the DS and Aaron Boone had his team doing conga lines and made it like it was like freaking Hawaii night or something in the locker room, and they were doing conga lines and champagne, and and the one guy that took no part in that shit was Juan Soto. He got dressed and went fucking home because that's the attitude I like. I miss that. I'm old school, and I'm not apologetic about it. I'm old school. Like I'm not celebrating until you win a World Series. Not doing conga lines in a locker room as grown adults. Come on. But that's the Aaron Judge locker room. The Juan Soto locker room, that was different. I agree with you, bro. That's why I think Soto left, because I think he felt they were corny, and I don't think they were that committed to winning. And he's right. He's not wrong. He was right. They are corny. They weren't committed to winning. He sat down with Hal. He didn't get a good feeling about him. Didn't get a good feeling about Cashman. That's why. That's partly why he left. Now, obviously, finances had a lot to do with it, but I think he just felt that the Yankees weren't that committed to winning, and he's not wrong. All the evidence has been to suggest that they aren't committed to winning. But it was his decision making to go to the Mets was the problem. Like if he went anywhere else, then I would buy it. But he went to the Mets, and they're an even bigger mess than the Yankees are. Yeah, the thing is about Cohen though is he's a used car salesman, and Soto bought his shit. Soto bought his shit, and he shouldn't have. Ugh. When they had to wear those cowboy boots and hats that used to. Ugh. That's so lame. And what was the where? When did remember they had to go? Remember they went in with Timberlands when they came off the plane wearing Timberlands. Aaron Judge and his team of softies uh, earlier this year were going about in Timberlands. Oh, and then what was the year Aaron Judge was going about in a boombox at Fenway playing New York, New York? Oh, he's so corny. It's disgusting. Oh, he's so corny. It was so cringe, bro. Thank you, S. It's so fucking cringe. That's not a leader. I'm sorry, it's not a leader. Going about in Timberlands or cowboy boots or fucking cowboy hats and boom boxes and stuff. Like, who are you? You're not the Yankees. You're like this really embarrassing, pale imitation of one. I think it's gone too extreme though. As I say, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, but the Yankees just want to have fun and all that stuff." I think that they're having too much fun. think uh, I think some leadership would be good, and some toughness would be good. Well, it depends on Soto. If Soto's fully healthy, then I think he'll kick the Yankees' ass. But the Mets have no pitching, so the Yankees should still win the series. But the Yankees always play like shit against the Mets, so nothing will surprise me. Ah, cornball. That's right. Volpe, Grisham, and Judge. Some real cornballs. I mean, Jazz. That's Captain Cornball. Yeah. See, that's why it's very difficult to root for this team. Like, if you saw any other team, and that's why anyone who criticizes Wilder Donald complaining about guys wearing Timberlands or cowboy hats or whatever, all that shit, say, imagine another team is playing your Yankees and they get off an airplane dressed in cowboy hats and freaking all that shit or whatever, you know, acting like clowns. Would you or would you not say, who are these idiots? Let's kick their ass. Right? So why can we not use the same energy for our own team? Because I'm keeping it real. If my team acts like that, I'm gonna call it out. You know, Aaron Judge with a boombox going New York, New York. All you're doing is giving the other team bulletin board material to kick your ass, and that's exactly what they did. You know what I'm saying? So that's I'm just using the same energy because if some team came in with Statue of Liberty hats and I Heart New York T-shirts, getting off the plane in LaGuardia, getting ready to play the Yankees, um, I would be like, I can't stand you, motherfuckers, and we're gonna beat your ass. That's what I'd be like. So why can't we use the same energy for the Yankees who are going to Houston wearing cowboy hats, thinking that they're cool kids? It's disgraceful. It's embarrassing. I'm just using the same energy as I would for anyone who try and make a clown of my team. I don't like my team trying to make a clown of the other team. I don't like it. I think you should be just, as a Giants fan, longtime Giants fan, Tom Coughlin's motto, shut up and play. I live by that. That's my motto. Win a championship, then talk the fool. But until then, shut up and play. And that's my attitude. But Aaron Judge does a whole lot of talking. Jazz does a whole lot of talking. The whole team does a whole lot of talking and not a whole lot of production. I agree. This is why we don't deserve to make the playoff. We definitely don't deserve to make the postseason. We don't. You're right. You don't deserve anything. You get what you work for. That's right. You get what you work for, but in this playoff format, you just let everyone in. Exactly. So there's not really any. There's also no real achievement. So so the Yankees kind of have it both ways. Do you know what I'm saying? The Yankees kind of have this both ways, going, "Oh, well, we made the playoffs. What can you possibly complain about? We always have a above 500 record. What can you possibly complain about, bro? The format is designed for everybody to get in." The Blue Jays and the Orioles have a below 500 record as we speak, and they're right in that third wild card spot. So I don't want to hear about how this is an achievement to make the playoffs in the American League. It's not. If a below 500 team can get that third wild card spot, then the Yankees don't deserve any credit for being 15 games above 500 and being a wild card spot as well. They don't deserve credit for that. They can't have it both ways. Oh, we make the playoffs. Well, everybody makes the playoffs, so it's not an achievement. It's the truth. You have to absolutely suck. You have to suck so bad and so dramatically hard to miss the playoffs in American League. And the Yankees are never going to be that bad because they've got $300 million payroll and they've got enough players that are decent that they can make up for a lot of shitty players that they have, and it makes them a mediocre team. Oh, good news, everybody! Mediocre gets you in the wild card. So I don't know why we have to celebrate the Yankees being a mediocre team. You can't have it both ways, fan base. You can't. So that goes to the fans that defend Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone. Oh, they make the playoffs every year, dude. You have to completely stink to miss the playoffs in the American League. You have to basically try and miss the playoffs in the American League. So I'm not celebrating that. I'm not celebrating that. You have to be out of your mind for me to celebrate that. Dude, they'll be doing conga lines for it. They'll be doing conga lines, the whole freaking thing. Should it be like blood in the water like sharks when it comes to the Yankees. Dude, apparently that's what it's going to be like when Aaron Boone tests free agency. Feeding frenzy. That was great. Thank you, Cashman. You're right, Stevie B. It isn't. I don't like the personalities on this team either. They're not. They're not likable. And I was gonna say I call it as I see it. If we had likable players, more Lombards and more Caballeros, I would love this team. But we have too many guys that are just not easy to root for. Well, I mean, as a matter of fairness, I love Bednar's dog-like attitude. I love Schlittler's dog-like attitude. I love Cole's dog-like attitude. I love Caballero's attitude. Um, I like Rice. I think Rice has got a good attitude, and I think Lombard's got a good attitude. Those are six guys with the right attitude. You know what I'm saying? I really like those. That their attitude, I think, is excellent. Um, yeah, Bednar is awesome. He's a bad man. So like, it's not all disaster. We have a closer. He is a bad man. And we go to great rotation. We have a great shortstop. Have a good DH, first baseman. Then you got Aaron Judge. He's not my guy, but he's still elite, generational. So something to build on. I love Stanton's attitude, but we're never going to see Stanton ever again. It's just sad. It really hurts me that Stanton hasn't been healthy because Stanton's the right kind of leader you want. Well, that's interesting. I don't even like Cole. He whines too much when things don't go his way. I do get that. I do get that. Like he's a perfectionist, but what I love is, um, he's kind of like a pitching coach. Like he's taken Weathers under his wing. He's taken Schlittler under his wing. He's taken a bunch of guys under his wing. He's really developed them, and the big reason why Schlittler is having the kind of Cy Young year that he's having is because of Garrett Cole. Cole's worked with him. Like he's a brilliant baseball mind. Like Garrett Cole's got a future manager or a future pitching coach. He just is. Like he loves the grind. He loves it. So I love those kind of guys. Like he's a brilliant baseball mind. So you want more guys like that because he's a winner. He is definitely a winner. Garrett Cole's a winner. Now um, he's a perfectionist, and if everything is not perfect for him, he does kind of fly off a handle. But I prefer that attitude than Aaron Judge going, "Oh, a loss is a loss." I hate that attitude. That's why Judge is my guy. But I love Stanton's attitude because Stanton is like, I don't want to see anybody celebrating ALCS rings. I don't want to see anybody celebrating that. Get that shit off. It's a World Series caliber team. Loved his attitude. Unfortunately, just can't get healthy anymore. Oh, Jazz, he's completely unlikable. There's nothing likable about Jazz. Nothing. Nothing. But no, I think like next year, like there's things that you can build on. Like for instance, first base, you got Rice. Um, pencil him in there. You got to feel good about that. You need a new second baseman. Maybe bring in Luis Ariz or something like that. Shortstop, you're sorted with Lombard. Third base, you need to kick McMahon so far into another dimension. Austin Wells, same thing. Kick him into another dimension. Bellinger, you overpaid for him, but he's a serviceable player. Center fielder, you need a new center fielder. Aaron Judge, you get him in there in right field, you're fine. DH, I guess Luis Garcia will be your DH next year. I'm fine with that. Um, so there is a bare bones of a team, but you need a righty bat at third base and second base, and you need to get some athleticism in this team as well. And that's fixable, but we need to do some serious work on that next year with another general manager. The rotation's kind of set. The rotation is set. Next year, as I say, you're pretty much set. You've got Fried, Cole, Weathers, and you've got Schlittler. Like, you're kind of set there. Rodon, excellent. Then you bullpen, extend Bednar. I would be working out Luis Heel as a bullpen arm for next year. I'd make him like a bullpen arm. We can maybe do the same with Clark Schmidt, or you can make Clark Schmidt a sixth man. So you should have plenty of arms. You need to remake the bullpen though, but you should have plenty of arms. Hedrick, maybe keep Fernando Cruz. I quite like his splitter. So as I say, there's bare bones of a team you can work with, but as Healing Man's Heart says, there are some pieces to rebuild from, but management is the issue. Well said, bro. Well said. Ooh, that's not a bad shout. Ron Washington. Yeah. Definitely agree with Rise. He needs to be playing. He needs to be a Yankee next year. Oh, fuck it. Rouson's useless, bro. But as I say, I don't know how much it's his fault, because this is the Yankee philosophy. It's a Yankee philosophical issue rather than a Rouson issue. Rouson stinks, but the Yankee philosophical outlook on hitting is the problem. So until that's fixed, then nothing's going to get fixed. So basically, it all comes down to management. This is a good team. This is a very good team. And with a good general manager and a good manager, this team is more than capable of making a World Series. But under its current regime, no chance. Absolutely no chance. There's more chance of picks flying than the Yankees winning a World Series with Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman. And that is that, really. That's the truth, whether you like it or not. So, everybody, we got another game coming up with the Baltimore Orioles. Need to win this series because we have a difficult schedule coming up. We got a whole bunch of difficult games coming up against the Blue Jays. We've got, let's see here. We've got 2 more against the O's, and then 3 against the Jays, then 3 against the Astros, and then 4 against the Red Sox. That is difficult, man. That is a difficult schedule. So the Yankees need to take care of business and beat Baltimore, but I don't think it's going to be easy. We don't have an offense right now, and I don't know. Here we go. It's Will Warren versus Chris Bassett. Warren stinks. So I expect Bassett to outpitch him. Bassett is he's pitching to a 3.77 ERA over his last 3 appearances. Meanwhile, Will Warren is pitching to a 5 ERA over his last 3 appearances. He's allowed 17 hits to Bassett's 15 over his last 3 games. So for me, advantage Baltimore. I think it's advantage Baltimore tonight. Chris Bassett. I mean, to be honest, the Yankee lineup makes everybody look good. Well said is motherboard reset's not coming. Thank you, Stevie B. Great show. Smack those likes on the way out. I agree. What Will Warren will show up? The same we've seen all year. He might get through the first first time through the order okay, and then you'll probably give up a 5 spot and second time through. That's my prediction. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. These Yankees are really hard to tell because every so often they just have a great game that you don't see coming. But I don't foresee it. I think they'll probably make heavy weather of this, and I think the O's might even up the series. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But either way, win or lose, we will be discussing the series on Friday with some awards and all the stuff. Help this channel out, please, guys. Help keep the lights on. Hit the sub button, share it out, sub up, do all the good stuff, and have a wonderful rest of your day. I know we're right in the afternoon now, so everybody in New York time anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy the Yankee game tonight, and we'll see you on the next stream. Peace out.